Okay, so Bitcoin,
Yeah.
it just went over like $106,000.
It's wild.
It's pretty crazy. So today we're going to do a deep dive on this and figure out why this is such a big moment for Bitcoin and what it could signal for the future of all cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, good.
We've got a lot to unpack here. We've got a ton of institutional investment coming in.
Yes.
We've got a surprisingly crypto-friendly move by the Trump administration
Yeah, that was a surprise.
and some seriously bullish technical indicators that are suggesting that
Pointing to a...
yeah, pointing to a continued rise in the price of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is it's not just like a single factor driving this. It's really kind of a perfect storm of all of these different factors all coming together at the same time, which is,
Yeah,
it's really exciting to see.
absolutely. So let's start with this tidal wave of institutional investment we're seeing. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs have pulled in almost $3 billion.
It is amazing.
And to put that in perspective,
Mm.
Bitcoin started 2023 at just $16,530.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a 540% increase in just 2 years.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That's not just growth, that's a full-on financial earthquake.
Yeah, it's huge, and I think it really signals a change in the way that the financial establishment is viewing Bitcoin.
Right.
We're seeing major players now, hedge funds, even pension funds, starting to really view Bitcoin as a legitimate asset class.
Yeah, and they're not just dipping their toes in the water, they're like jumping in head first.
Yeah, exactly. They're going all in.
So what do you think is driving this change? Like, why now?
That's a really good question. I think part of it is probably some of the recent regulatory changes
Right.
coming out of the Trump administration.
I'll admit I didn't see this one coming.
It was a surprise to a lot of people. But
Mhm.
yeah, his executive order that prioritizes U.S. leadership in digital assets has really eased a lot of the fears about regulation in the crypto space.
Yeah, it's like finally some clarity, for these institutional investors who really,
They want stability.
yeah, they crave that stability and predictability.
Exactly. And you're seeing that, play out in what are called whale holdings.
Right.
Those are the big players holding a significant amount of Bitcoin, and those have surged from 16.2 million to 16.4 million Bitcoin.
Wow.
So, that's not just a coincidence. That's a vote of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got the institutions jumping in. We've got a more favorable regulatory environment.
Yeah.
But it's not just regulations, right? The technical side of things is looking pretty strong, too.
Oh, yeah. The charts are looking great.
Yeah, Bitcoin is currently like soaring 35% above its 200-day moving average,
Right.
and holding strong above both the 50 and 200-day EMAs.
Yep.
And we've got a bullish sentiment index sitting pretty at 75.
75. That's great.
So break that down for us for a second. Like, what do these indicators mean for someone who's not like a hardcore trader?
Right. So basically think of the 200-day moving average like a long-term trend line. So when the price is significantly above it, like it is now, it suggests strong positive momentum, like a bull market.
Right.
The EMAs, or exponential moving averages, are similar, but they give more weight to recent price action.
Got it.
So all of these indicators are essentially flashing green and telling us that the bulls are in control and likely to stay that way.
Okay, so it's like Bitcoin is firing on all cylinders. Institutional investment, favorable regulations, strong technicals.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the rest of the crypto world? Are they just like watching from the sidelines as Bitcoin takes off?
No, not at all, actually. Bitcoin's surge is having a ripple effect across the entire crypto market, and it's lifting other cryptocurrencies, too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. For example, Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency, just jumped 7.5% to hit $3,421.
Wow, so it's like a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. And this sympathetic growth that we're seeing is actually a really healthy sign. It suggests that the entire market is gaining strength. So when the tide rises, all ships rise with it.
Love that analogy. And speaking of rising tides, we've got some pretty bold predictions coming from some industry experts.
Oh, yeah.
We've got people like Tim Draper and Tom Lee forecasting Bitcoin to hit $250,000.
That's a big number.
That's a huge number. I mean, that's hard to even comprehend.
It's $250,000.
It is. So what are your thoughts on these sky-high predictions?
I mean, anything is possible in the long term, especially with Bitcoin, but it's important to remember that this market is known for its volatility.
Right.
While I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin reach $122,000 in the foreseeable future,
Okay.
I think it's important to stay grounded and remember that there will be dips and corrections along the way.
So buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
It always is with Bitcoin.
It is, but I guess, stepping back a little bit, what does this surge really tell us about Bitcoin and the future of finance?
I think the main takeaway is this. Bitcoin is no longer a fringe asset. It's gaining mainstream acceptance, and that has huge implications for traditional financial systems.
Yeah, it's almost like we're witnessing a paradigm shift in how people think about money and value.
Exactly. It's a financial revolution.
And that leaves me with a question for you, the listener.
Yeah.
If this trend continues, how do you think Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will shape your financial future? Could we be witnessing the dawn of a new financial era? It's a question worth pondering as we continue to navigate this fascinating and ever-evolving world of crypto.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.